What are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit.
I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway.
¿Qué
major?
pasa con eso? ¿Qué pasa con español?
¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás? Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr. Rogers. You've tuned into the Man Chatter podcast.
And we are live. Jesus. Did we need any more of a delay? I don't think you're ready with the sound, son.
See, here's what happened. I was pressing it, but my volume was down. So it didn't matter what I was pressing.
It was like the episode. It's like the episode we did with Javi, which, by the way, I haven't published yet. We are live, and then dead air. I'm like, oh, are you gonna play the sound or what, dude? What's going on?
I know, dude. I'm always delayed with that shit. You know, my internet is from 1875. Cut me some slack, son. Speaking of 1875, have you seen this? We hadn't even talked about this in the pre-show.
We didn't.
Have you seen the Matthew McConaughey movie, Free State of Jones?
I've heard of it.
Where it's like
I haven't seen it.
It's like where farmers and slaves, like battle against the, imperialism and just slavery and shit like that. Obviously, they don't win. I'm assuming. Like, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm assuming they didn't win that one because there was a whole civil war.
There was.
But
minor detail.
I'm interested to watch that. Minor detail. Just gloss over that. It was just human commerce, John. That's what slavery was. I don't know why people are so bent out of shape about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't
like,
that big of a deal.
Why are they concerned? Right? They're all up in arms about human trafficking right now.
Yeah.
But not when we use it to build this country.
Yeah, exactly. It was, dude, like, my wife has been going off on people the last, 3 days for their ignorance about shit like that. She read me the comments, and, I'm not on Facebook anymore, really. Right? Like, it's just to share, our page and shit like that. Like, I don't post any updates. I don't post nothing. And she's telling me that somebody said that there was no civilization here before Christopher Columbus. Like, legit said it in the comments.
No civilization because there were natives?
No, nobody was here then. Like, this was just barren land.
Yeah.
And there wasn't entire civilizations and different tribes of Native Americans.
Yeah, no, they were just shitting. They were just eating each other and shitting all over the place and dying of dysentery and gonorrhea and STDs. Oh no, wait, no, that's what Christopher Columbus brought over. That killed him. That's how the Aztecs got beat because of all the STDs from the Spaniards.
Exactly. And fucking more. Like, I was like, what the fuck is? I was like, she read that to me. I was like, that can't be real. Like, that simply can't be real.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be kidding me. And I was just like, see, this is why I ain't on that shit, man. Like, completely fuck Facebook forever. Like, I'll use it as a tool, but never the way I used to.
Yeah. Ever since I saw The Social Dilemma, a week and a half ago, I turned off all my notifications, everything. While we were doing the pre-show, I looked because I wanted to do some research on Twitter. That's how I get my news, trending.
Right. Yes.
And I saw that you made a comment probably a day or two ago. I was like, oh shit, maybe I should reply to that or like it or do something. But now I'm not beholden to my phone because before, the only reason I got on was because I saw notifications that I wasn't even looking, but I would just get on because I would see these fucking notifications are taking up the space up on my top bar. So I would just swipe them down or get on the app just to swipe them away. And so now I don't even have to worry about it. I'll look at it once every couple of days. I'll be like, oh shit, I got 20 notifications from Instagram or whatever. Done. Yep. And then put it back down.
I need to get on that. I need to do that because I have notifications, not for everything because I don't have Facebook. I haven't had the Facebook app or Messenger in God knows how long. Like, I was using the website, so you have to open up the Chrome and give yourself extra steps. But yeah, I've kind of stayed away. And then this detox really helped me. Where I'm just like, this is all stupid. Like I told you last time, where I went back and just scrolled through the comments for 30 seconds, and it was anti-Semitism, shitting on, shitting on whatever political party,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, and then you start thinking about the social dilemmas, like that algorithm's literally made to make you mad, right? Like it's because it's very I have like 500 and something friends or whatever, and I see the same four people. I was like, are these the same four people that are only sharing? Like none of these other people have anything going on.
Right.
So you're telling me like 496 people aren't on Facebook?
I know.
It's hard. It's a hard time to believe that.
Yeah, I saw Schultz's response to the social dilemma and how a lot of these people are people that used to work at these big companies, social media
Yep.
companies that helped create them or popularize them, and now they're on the social dilemma because probably they got fired or let go or whatever the reason is, and now they're trying to make money
Right.
not off the platforms themselves, but but demonizing the platforms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The anti-platform.
yeah,
The anti-platform
but
platform. Yeah.
yeah, and of course his stance was, well, I'm a content creator, so I'm not going to be here saying that this is bad for
Yep.
you because the algorithm is what gets me my my audience. But
Yes.
I think he came at it from the wrong point of view. Like it's not about not
One.
finding anything because YouTube, like you can find anything on YouTube, and if you're looking for, I don't know, how to start a podcast, videos on how to tutorials, how to do things with business, whatever it is, you'll find it,
Yep.
and you'll see more of those videos when you log on because that's what the algorithm is. The problem is
Yep.
that it's also uh, psychology and addiction, and all these sales tactics that people use with copywriting, all that is baked into the algorithm and the platform. And
Hmm.
addiction is a real thing. It doesn't mean you're addicted to
Yep.
crack or heroin or whatever. Like these social media things, apps are addictive, and if you have an addictive personality, then it doesn't have to be drugs. It's whatever. It's going to be your addiction. And he says, it's on you to practice self control. And that's the point is that people who have that addictive personality don't have self control. And so I
Exactly.
disagree with him. I understand like the platforms are good for that, but as far as getting people off of these, like it's not just as easy as saying you should practice self control. Addiction is a thing, and they take advantage of it. So that's why I just
Yeah,
said
I
I wasn't
thought.
addicted to them, but they were taking up too much of my time that I don't really need them for. So I turn off
Yeah.
notifications.
Like it's weird because I was talking to Danny the other day, right? And he goes, "Man, like I wish you guys like talking about me and you like that we argued more, right? Like did more like the Skip and Shannon perspective, right? Like where I disagree with you, and then like just give counteracting points." Yeah, I know. I see the LeBron James jersey in the back for no reason at all. Because you went to LA for a week doesn't make you a Lakers fan,
It's
right?
not my
Like that's
jersey.
just
I know. I'm a smaller dude, but that's Javi's jersey. I,
okay.
I
I'll,
saw
I'll
it at the
allow it
Nike
because
factory store, and I said, "You want it? It's like 40% off because everything at the damn store is
yeah,
40% off." So, yeah,
yeah. But but yeah, I agree with you. Like I didn't even like too often. Like I didn't even agree with what he said at all with Schultz because it was because he looked at it from that sense, right? Like where oh, well, it's working for me. You know what I mean? We're like, yeah, dude, but how many people are you, right? Like how many content creators that are also stand-ups that also host their two podcasts on like not a lot of people are in your lane, right? To
right.
like that's it. He almost looked at it, and it sounds weird because I'm a fan of Schultz, right? And I he
From the
almost looked at it
privileged
like in an
perspective.
yeah, in an elitist perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like we're like, well, it's not happening to me. I don't understand the problem. Why? Why? Yeah, dude, that's not how it works. Then, like, addiction is a motherfucker. Like, I'm addicted to sugar, right? Hence, why I'm fat, right? Like, it's if it was that easy, like, oh man, put the spoon down. Ah, bro, look, I wish it was that simple. Like, there's a whole fucking conglomerate propaganda that's made to make me, you know what I mean, buy these things, and it's hard as fuck to fight that off. If I can at least get, and I've, like that, hence me taking a detox from social media. You know what I mean? You literally have to detox from it. Like you have to completely cut it out. Like you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna just take 5 minutes of the day, because even that, even being that responsible is difficult. Because that five could turn into 10. You know what I mean? Turn into 15 real quick as you're scrolling, and then you're right back in it. Because I've tried detoxes before. It took me completely removing all of it to be like, all right, man, this is like, what the fuck was wrong with me going on all these rants and being so angry and all that stuff because I
Yeah.
fed into that algorithm.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, like I have that same perspective that Schultz has, where I think, yeah, dude, just turn the shit off. Just turn off notifications. It's that
Yep.
easy. But I also understand that addiction is a real thing. I can't understand how he can't see that perspective. And that's why I completely disagree with him on that point. Yeah, it's open. You're a content creator. You're not a user of the platform. You're not a end
You're the
user.
dealer.
And maybe you are, but you're the
You're the
dealer.
dealer.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
you're gonna see it from that. That's probably the perfect analogy. You're the dealer. You're not the user.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but as a dealer, you still understand that shit is it gets your people hooked. That's why they keep coming back for
Yeah.
more. As a content creator, you
If it,
understand that you don't have to shout them down, but at the very least, acknowledge that it's a problem and not just practice self control, dude. It's a
yeah.
little bit deeper than that. And so for him,
Yeah. Like
especially as intelligent as he is, and some of the
yes.
monologues that
Well
he's had
spoken. Yep.
throughout
Hmm.
COVID, as intelligent as he is to have a hot take or whatever, as shallow as that was disappointing because I thought he was gonna have a little bit more insight.
Yeah. Like I would give it to like I would have gave it to him if he elaborated more like, but if it wasn't so much like, hey man, but I'm Pablo Escobar, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like it doesn't affect me, like it's not bothering me. Like I have self control. Why don't you? Yeah, bro, because that's not how people work. People
Yeah.
aren't a monolith, right? Like social media is a highly effective propaganda algorithmic
Sure.
machine. I'm gonna roll with that word. Sure, let's go with it. Machine that it's made to defeat you, right? Some people get out of life. Like literally, dude, like I had to detox from it where like I would want to like you I almost feel the urge to go back. Right? Because like some people have the ability to like to tap some people look, this is how different social media can be for people. There are people that are able to look in and just be like, ah, no, that's not for me.
Right.
Like the ability you have, Danny has that, I think Jonathan, the other Parrilla, not Parrilla,
Parrilla.
still still disrespectful.
Myth. I'm gonna take the name away
Um,
from you until you figure it out.
yeah, you know what I mean. There's people who are able to look in and not let it affect them, but that's not the massive amount of people. And especially like for us, it's different because we're a different generation. We grew up a time where we didn't have it,
Yeah.
right? You go 10 years back. You know what I mean? Like what I'm get what the Zoomers or whatever propaganda name they have now, millennials, right? Not because
We're
we're
millennials.
millennials.
After us is Zoomers. Before us is the Pepsi generation or Generation X.
Yeah.
So
So you know what I mean? Like they're gonna the generation behind us is gonna be a completely different animal,
they
and
were
the
born into
generation
this.
behind them, yeah, they were born. They don't know anything different. You know what I mean? They're fucking and their parents that are younger than us for you know what I mean? Fucking doing it to their kids and having Instagrams for their dogs, which I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about like for Drax,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's too much. That's too much. I'm good with the podcast page and my personal page that is private. You know what I mean? Like even that, like I'm still filtering what I allow in my atmosphere and in my universe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a little bit it was a weird take because you usually expect them to have a broader, more under you know what I mean, like
Yeah. Some
eloquent take,
nuance.
and it wasn't that. Yeah, some nuance to it. It was just like was not bothering me.
Yeah, and I have no
Man,
issues with
what?
him saying, "Hey, I'm Escobar." But even Escobar
Yeah,
acknowledges that his shit, the reason why he had customers is because it was addictive. But
yeah,
there was none of that.
yeah. The reason why you have subscribers is because the algorithm is working for you. Like you're serving quality cocaine.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like which is why you have these people. These are your customers. You're the you know what I mean? That's what it is. Like look, and let's call it what it is. Like we're trying to do the same thing, right?
right,
Like we're trying to be the dealers in the same situation. Like we're not being hypocrites at all. Like we're trying to use this to our advantage to be able to monetize this and be able to retire just to be able to talk shit. You know what I mean on a beachfront in Panama somewhere and not deal with it or and you in Spain or me in whatever the fuck.
well, it depends, right? It depends how
If we're
many.
allowed to leave the country again.
It depends if we're allowed to leave the country. Well, not allowed. We're allowed to leave. It's that other countries don't want us there, right? The entire
Yeah,
EU has banned
yeah,
Americans from coming in, and next year they were going to require that we go through the entire process of getting a visa anyway. So
yep.
they're going to make it harder for us. So we can go. No one wants to let us in though. I
That's
I wonder how it feels like to have the tables turned, where
it's
we don't want
awkward,
to
right?
let people in, but now we want to get the hell out of here. We want to travel. We want to go see other places, and they're like, "Nah, son, nah."
Nah, son. Like you went to you went to Niagara Falls this weekend.
Yep.
I don't know if it was randomly you had planned it because I don't think you guys are just random people. I think you plan stuff. unless you just pick up and go.
We
How'd
plan
that work?
stuff, but understand that there's plans don't always work out. We were supposed to go on Saturday. I don't even know what happened Saturday. We ended up playing volleyball or working on a project. I don't even know. I don't even remember what happened this weekend
Right.
except the trip
That's
to
a
Niagara
blur.
Falls. So we ended
Yeah.
up moving it to oh, okay, I know what happened. Javi, we signed Javi up for an improv class. And the improv class
Okay.
started this Saturday. So he does like he has an acting class and then this improv class for this week, which is taught by someone who attended Second City. And if you don't know what Second City
Oh
is, it's
wow.
like Second City, right?
Yeah, of course. I know what's
So a lot of like the
Jordan
people,
Peele.
yeah,
Jordan Peele and Key, Michael Key.
yeah,
I can't ever remember.
and
Yeah,
and
they met. They were in Second City. A bunch of people. A bunch of huge
a
stars.
lot of people that I can't think of, but a lot of them that was like their jump off point to get to Saturday Night Live, and
Yep.
whatever else they did afterwards. So
Mad
he's teaching
TV.
an improv
Shit like
class.
that.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
chick from Parks and Rec, Amy Poehler, Peeler,
Polar. Amy
Poehler.
Polar. Polar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's
she
stuff
went to
like
Second
that in.
City.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, so the class is being taught by someone that was there, part of that troupe, and they go to Butler. I don't know if it's Butler University, University of Butler, whatever in Indiana, but they graduated from there and they were part of Second City and they were teaching. And I was like, yeah, Javi doesn't know what it is, but I was like, hey, if you enjoy your acting class and you are doing acting on the side and stuff, an improv class for a month. It's one Saturday out of the month, but for a month, it's worth it. You'll get 4 Saturdays, an
Yeah. Of
hour and a
course.
half worth each Saturday. Being taught by someone of that caliber, you need to do it, and he likes it.
Yes. 100
So,
percent.
so that
Yeah,
changed
man.
our trip from Saturday to Sunday.
So I'm assuming improv is just because I don't know if you've seen that. I think it's on Hulu. I don't know if you have Hulu. There's this like this almost like a troupe, right? Where it's like all improv, where it's like Lin Manuel Miranda and a couple of the people, like some of the people you've seen on Hamilton,
Okay.
right? It's like the group that started it. They were like college friends, and they would like travel the country, and then they would do like free. It was so it's crazy thing, but it's all improv, right? Where like the crowd tells them what to do, and then they'll sing, rap, and you know what I mean, or act it out, and all this different shit. Like
Hmm.
improv just takes you outside of your comfort zone, right? Because like acting is just like, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm assuming, right? Like, hey, you gotta act like a woman now, or you're sick, or all this other
Yeah.
shit, and just like ad lib it. That's pretty dope, man. That's cool to
Yeah.
have you
Yeah. Yeah.
doing that.
Improv. I've been to improv shows. Um, I remember my first experience was it in Coral Gables, the improv down in Coral Gables, and
Yep, yep,
yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. Like you have a general plot or general like guidelines, like hey,
yep,
this is what's going on. Go. This is what's supposed to be happening,
yeah,
and then you guys just work it out. So yeah,
yeah.
so to learn that, even if it's again, he enjoys acting and improv is something that kind of will help you expand your mind, think on your feet, all that. I'm not even looking at it from the like, oh shit, you need to do improv because it's someone from Second City, and if you're really taking this seriously and you want to do Saturday Night Live and be a comedian, blah, like I'm not even thinking like that for him. If that works out for him, great. But he's 12. Like I'm not trying to put that pressure on him. I'm like, you enjoy acting,
No, definitely not.
improv. To learn improv from someone from Second City is awesome. But I'm also thinking like this will just help you with other things, being able to think on your feet and think outside the box and be
Hmm.
creative and all those things that we keep talking about creativity. So I figured,
Yeah, there
yeah,
has
it
been
was,
like a running theme.
yeah. So I figured it was
I don't know,
worth
like the
changing.
last 6 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was worth changing our trip from Saturday to Sunday, which then
no, that's
bumped
dope.
off our podcast. So I probably
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
given
yeah.
you a heads up like Saturday evening, and I didn't because I actually
A
thought I
little
was like,
bit.
we're not going on Sunday, and then I got up early enough on Sunday where we're like, I guess we're going. I got it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, it's an early drive. We'll
Huh?
still be back. We made it back home by like
Yeah, dude.
midnight,
It's
I think.
Yo, I'm super jumpy because of the shit that did I talk about it on the show already,
You did not.
or did we just no no? But yeah, so we'll finish off the Niagara Falls thing. Nah, man, that's cool. Like I looked at it, I was like, who the fuck just picks up and goes to Niagara Falls, and then I know where you live, not the address, but like I put in the city, and then to Niagara Falls, like oh, it's a three
You're
and a half
like,
hour
yeah,
drive. Like
it's right
who the
there
fuck?
on the
Like because I
map.
was like Yeah, it's like right, like yo, like I can touch it with like two fingers. It's right there. Seems like a very quick drive, but I was like, holy shit! It's like one day just waking up and going to Orlando from Miami. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's not
pretty
like some
much.
crazy thing. Just doing like a day trip. So I was like, ah, fuck, all right. I was like, who the fuck just picks up and go? Because I'm thinking like Niagara Falls is far as fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's a
It
whole
is
day
from where you are.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds like a
It's
place
too
that would be
long for me.
far from anywhere. Niagara Falls just sounds like a drive.
Just sounds like a fucking drive. Like you got to stop a couple times for pee breaks and like
You're
snacks.
gonna have to
Like
camp
oh,
on the
Mel,
way over there, like Niagara Falls. Where the fuck is that? That shit sounds like
yeah,
a
like
yeah.
hey Mel, you want anything from the gas station? Like you know what I mean? Like that type of shit. Like I got to pee. You want something to drink? But yeah, dude. Like I was like, ah, man, that's cool. That's dope. So I was like, yo, and I was like, I didn't want to let the Sunday go again. Because again, like, dude, it's like we talked about it. Like we have lives too. You know what I mean? Like we shit happens. Like I think this Sunday is Peter's birthday, so we're probably gonna go to my uh I don't even know. Like I guess you could call it like my grandma.
Hmm.
Like it's Peter's mom's house, but it's like that's like 2.5 hours away. So, but we'll see. We'll see about that because you know what I mean. We talked about it offline. I'm not gonna put that on here
Yeah.
because it might go down next week. But yeah, I was like, who the fuck just goes to Niagara Falls, bro? Like that was so crazy. I was like, that's dope though. And then the video you sent me, I was like, holy shit, man. And then you also tell me that we're not allowed in Canada, which is a little embarrassing to me.
Yeah, I went to the Canadian website and they are not allowing people in because of COVID. At least not
Makes sense.
Americans. Just like okay, I was watching this show on Netflix, Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Yeah, yeah, you boo,
My boo.
you
I
boo,
know
Zach.
on
Yeah,
roids. He picked him up from the rock,
no,
but
100%. He's on the good roids.
yeah,
He's got the good stuff.
but so their first episode of that show, like they just go to these different places and they talk about sustainable living and just
Hmm.
better living, whether it's through sustainability or eating better and all these other things. First episode was in Iceland, and I told Mel,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
saw it.
yeah," I said we should go. It's beautiful
Yeah,
out there. Like I looked up the plane ticket. It's $1,200 for both of us round trip. I was like, "Oh
yep.
yeah, we should do that." Definitely. And then I
Then
looked up
you
Iceland.
then you look.
And
Yeah.
Iceland follows the same rules as the EU, so they're only allowing other EU countries, other travelers from EU countries, plus like 8 or 10 other countries that are on their list, and the US is not one of them. So I can't go to Iceland. I can't
At
go
what
pretty much
point,
anywhere.
like, I'm gonna ask you something. Like, at what point do we start like really acknowledging the embarrassment that's happening, like the madness that's happening, bro? You know what I mean? I guess because I tend and completely ignorant stereotypical thing that I'm about to say. Like I tend to assume that
Fucking
conservatives don't
Hispanic.
travel.
You guys are just
Yeah,
ignorant.
like I assume that like conservatives don't travel. You know what I mean? That like most like middle America people don't get on planes because like there's no direct flights from like well you're middle America. You know what I mean? Like
No,
like
no, no, no. Hold
Minnesota,
on,
you
hold on, hold
can't
on,
fly.
hold on, hold on. I'm not Middle America. I live in Middle America. I'm
You
not
reside
Middle America.
right.
Let's get that
Where's
shit straight.
what's your
I didn't
drive?
like that wording.
What's your driver license?
I didn't like
What's
that
your
wording.
driver's license say though?
My driver's
What's
license
your
says
driver's
I
license
live
say?
in Ohio. I am not
Okay.
Middle America. All right. I don't like the way you worded. You're Middle
No, but
America.
I'm
Nah,
saying
nah, son.
I'm saying 90,
I
ninety eight point
live in
six
Middle.
percent
You
white.
see that jersey right
Look,
there?
like
I would get gunned down in the
you represent
streets because that jersey
you
doesn't say
represent
Cleveland on
that's
it.
true. Yeah, well, Cleveland has enough problems on that team. They're gonna suck forever, right? Like, honestly, they're gonna suck for like forever.
I don't think so. I
Like
think LeBron retires. He comes and buys part of the team, and
you
I,
think he sells it to him?
huh?
You think like legit?
Daniel, whatever
You
his
think
name
he
is,
sell? Yeah, the guy from Quicken
Quick
Loans, right?
Quicken
That's
Loans.
where he got his money.
It's not even Quicken Loans anymore. It changed the name again. I forget, but whatever.
I had no idea. Nobody cares.
Rocket Mortgage
Like
because that's one of their
this
products.
is the
It's not even named Quicken Loans anymore. It's named Rocket Mortgage Arena or some shit because that's one of their
yeah
products. So they got
yeah.
downgraded to just a product line instead of the company.
They're like they're under the umbrella. They're not the umbrella.
Yeah, they're
Like
not
that
even the
sucks,
umbrella
man.
anymore. LeBron left and now it's
Like
Rocket Mortgage Arena.
like when you see like Johnson and Johnson, and then it's just like under the umbrella of like SC Johnson. They're
Right.
not even like SC Johnson. Now they're like baby oil.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think whatever the fuck his name is, Dan something. Is it
It's
Dan?
Dan something. I was about to call him Dan Snyder, but that's the guy from Washington.
Yeah,
Daniel something. I
but
forget what it is.
whatever. Like I don't think he sells it to him. There's no way. Like
I think with
I
enough
don't
public
like.
pressure, he'll sell it to him. I think so.
I mean,
Maybe not the entire
he
team.
has to sell.
Maybe it'll be a majority stake in the team or something where he has enough power to make changes over personnel, whether it's at the operations level, executives, or
Like a
player
Magic Johnson,
personnel. Yeah, I
like
think
a
there'll be
Magic Johnson, like a president.
yeah, if he decides to go that route, I think there'll be enough public pressure um, that it's a possibility.
How
That's
much?
the only way I see them
How
being
much longer?
relevant.
How much longer do you think LeBron plays, man?
I don't know. He says he wants to play with
Because
Bronny, but Bronny just whatever his name is,
smoked weed.
he just smoked weed for what I heard on
Yeah,
Instagram or some shit. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I heard someone say he's realizing that he's not gonna go to the league, so he's like, I'm just gonna do what other 16-year-olds do.
Yeah, just be
Which
a kid. Like
yeah,
there's also that part of it that has to happen. Like it, I think it's mind you, I'm never gonna have the kind of money. Well, hopefully, never gonna. Realistically, there's a very slim chance that I'm never gonna have the kind of money LeBron has.
why are you
So,
putting a limit on yourself? You need to watch
because I'm
more
not
Gary
LeBron,
V. You need
like
to watch more Gary V videos.
no, 100%. But real quick, I'm still not 6'8", 260 pounds, and dunking like a motherfucker at 36. I don't think I could touch the bottom of the net, son. Like I'm talking about that aspect. Like
No way,
I
come
might
on
have the
now.
money, but
I can still touch the
I'll
bottom of
never
the
be there.
net.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
On
can.
a Fisher Price basket? On
No,
a Fisher
son.
Price basket?
Not
The
that it's
fuck out of here.
not that it's anything to like write home about. I used to be able to like barely hang by my fingertips on the bottom of the net.
Yeah, no, fuck
Your
out of
boy
here,
had
bro. You
hops
can't do that.
at
No,
five
you
three
did.
and 3/4.
You did. Yo, you remember that tournament that we played in? Like I fucking froze in that game when like I couldn't make a basket. Had like layups and I was like breaking it off at the rec.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
me, you, and Carlos,
yeah.
and I couldn't make like it was the worst I've ever played in my life. Like I looked like I'd never played basketball before ever. It was and it was terrible. But yeah, I don't Dan. Fuck, no, I still want to say Dan Snyder, but it's still not it. I'm trying to think of the guy's name,
Gilbert,
but
Dan
whatever.
Gilbert,
Dan Gilbert. Yeah, Dan Gilbert. There it is. I don't know if he
Dan
sells to me because
Gilbert.
he's left
Did
me
you just
twice.
your
But he
Spanish
also
actually came out?
Dan Gilberto. Don Gilberto. But I mean, he did bring him a championship that did. Hopefully, that smooth things over. But he's definitely headed in that direction. I could see him being like a president of basketball operations while also being like having like 20% stake or whatever. Because it takes a lot of money to buy a basketball team. LeBron doesn't have like at that point after probably 2 or 3 other franchises sell. LeBron is not going to have like $5 billion. He's going to be have to go in on a partnership.
You
Like
think the Cavs are worth
nobody
5
pays it.
billion? I mean, the Clippers sold for like 2.4 or whatever the hell that was, and that was a record at the time.
Yeah, and the Clippers don't have a championship.
I don't think the Cavs are worth
Like
two point
The
four. That
Clippers
was a
have
record
like
at the time. How are and they didn't have a
yeah,
championship. I don't
but
think. Nah.
and that was like short sold though, if you remember, because of the whole the ownership with like cussing out, being racist as shit.
Yeah, being
Just being
racist and having like racist. What was it? Because he owned a bunch of apartment complexes, like racist
yeah. Well, he was
rental.
that
Yeah,
tends that tends to be a thing for property owners of that age.
yeah. What do you
There was
expect?
another guy who that's kind of the president right now.
Yeah,
That Department of Justice said he was doing the same kind of shit. So
yeah.
that's a thing that also happened.
Allegedly.
But no.
Well, no, it's
Actually,
the
like
Department of
if you look
Justice.
at
Yeah, under
yeah, no,
investigation.
like he actually yeah, no, 100% he did it. There's no like if ands or buts. And real quick, it was under like I think it was the Bush administration, so
Yeah,
it wasn't like the Democrats were after him if he wants to use that shit.
right.
But I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's crazy, dude. How fuck segues. How unexpected was this Heat run? Uh, didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. Like I was like, okay, maybe. And I'm watching every game. I was like, holy shit, they might do this. Holy shit, they might do this. Then in game 6, I was like, nah, bro, they're gonna do this shit. Because I said it. I think I said it on the pod. I think you watched it, right? Where I was like, there's no way Boston can keep up that pressure that they had in game 5. Like
Not for
Boston
that
played
time. Yeah,
desperate. Yeah, you can't keep that. It's impossible. Like I've watched basketball 30 years of my life, and no team can play that hard consistently and make it. Like a perfect example of that is the 2000. When was it that the Warriors lost to the Cavs when they were like 73-9?
17.
Was it 17?
I
Like that's an example of it,
I
right? Like
think
they
so.
burned. What happened there? They burned themselves out, right?
Yeah.
Because they wanted the record. They wanted the 73-9. First of all, 62-20 was perfectly fine. You know what I mean? They would have had 10, and then it wouldn't have been as desperate as they got in the end. It would have been probably another 6 game series, and Golden State wins again. But you
And they were
burn
up three to
yourself
one,
out
man.
playing that hard.
Damn.
Yeah, they were up 3-1, and then which I didn't realize until yesterday. Stephen A said it. Draymond Green gets suspended. Andrew Bogut and Andre Iguodala missed those same games. So they like those 2 games that they came back to make it 3-3. They they were able to do that. So it was like I didn't realize that shit. I didn't realize that they lost 3 of their key players on that to bring them back.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I
of
knew
course
that the
LeBron.
entire time. That's why I was like thinking like it's not just they lost three players at once. And
Mm-hmm.
that but the big one was, Draymond with I get that Draymond was the emotional leader, but that also has its downsides and you saw it because it
Yes.
affected him that series.
Yep.
They were never the same.
No.
But
They bounced back pretty well though. Back to back championships. They did all right for themselves.
they did. I mean, but and they got beat. What they were missing all those players, and Kyrie had to be playing out of his mind. Like he was playing out of this
Yep.
world. Like
Yes.
that dude took the fucking boat and he fucking just sailed right off the edge of the earth. That's how out of this
Yeah.
world he was playing.
I
Fucking
like how
Kyrie.
is that I like how you did I like how you did that flat earther joke there. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like he just went through the wall of water.
Yeah,
That's what people think, right? Like there's just a wall of water, then you just go off.
yeah. That
How
dude
does
just
that?
went off,
How
and I
is?
don't know what. Maybe like he was on the upside down or some shit. That's how crazy it was. That's how crazy he was playing because
He went.
he was the one that
Yeah,
won the championship for them, not LeBron.
yeah, because he was averaging like 40, right, in those 3 games.
Yeah,
In
he
those
was a
last 3 games,
monster.
it was crazy. It was like 42, 11, and 6 or some like some outrageous numbers like that. And you think about it, like he after that he burned himself out,
Yeah.
right? Because look what he's injury prone. Look, Kyrie's an amazing player, amazing talent. Hasn't been the same since that series. Went to Boston, right? Right after that, right? Or the following season.
Mm-hmm.
I forget, right? I think
Two
no, it was the
two years,
following
two
season.
years after that. Yeah, or the following
2 years after that.
yeah.
Yeah. But they so no it was no it was the following that it was that off season because that's when they lost the back to back to whatever to Golden State right when they got Kevin Durant. Didn't he when Kevin Durant came, didn't or they or Katie or Kyrie was still there
They didn't lose a back to back
to Golden
to
State when they got KD.
yeah, because Golden State
What
had
was
already
that
won
with
two.
Kyrie?
They were going for a three-peat, and that's when they lost to Cleveland, and then they met the next year, and Cleveland beat them that year. Or I'm sorry, Golden State beat them that year. They got their third
It was
championship
2-1
before.
2. And it was 2-1 2-1, right? So it was like back to back, and then they lost, and then back to back, and then they lost to Toronto
Yeah,
because they met each other like 4 or 5 straight years in the finals. But yeah, like it was like that. Kyrie hasn't been the same since because then he goes to Boston, can't stay healthy. At Brooklyn now, can't stay healthy. Amazing talent, but you burn that bright so young. Like hopefully, this having this long of a break, he bounces back. Because I'm looking forward to a Heat Nets conference finals next year,
right. Yeah,
and
and not to
with the
take
Heat
anything.
having
Oh, go ahead.
Giannis, maybe no Heat
Yeah,
having Giannis,
maybe.
maybe as long as they don't trade everybody but Jimmy, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo,
You
and
can
Duncan
build around.
Robinson.
You can build around those two guys, and Jimmy's still only 30 years old. He's a hell of a
Mm-hmm.
player. He still has plenty of time left on him.
Yep, he's
Uh,
that leader that Giannis needs.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and earlier, like, not to take anything away from LeBron, because when I said Kyrie won him that championship, they don't get there without LeBron, right? LeBron's the one that he's
right.
taken, what is it,
10
Delonte
straight.
West? He took Delonte West to the finals. I mean,
No. Larry Hughes
Larry Hughes.
took Larry Hughes.
Who else was that dude with the big hair? With
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace, and on the backside of his career, but there was like a white dude, or I forget, he had like puffy hair.
Wally Zerbiak. Wally Zerbiak.
Nah, not
Oh,
Wallace.
Anderson Varejao.
Anderson
Anderson
Varejao.
Varejao.
Yeah, he took all
Yeah.
sorts of people to their finals on his back.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a young Paul Pierce.
You
Oh, the
said that because of
truth.
the podcast, right?
The truth.
Yo, are those the worst takes of all time, bro? Are those, he said the one that made me the most like take the Heat love out of it, right? We grew up with.
Yeah.
He said he's a better wing shooter than Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson.
Wait, but before we get into this, look. By the way, we
Okay.
talked about them. The Warriors could have 5 championships. Like it took Draymond Green losing his fucking mind and 2 other players being suspended
Yes.
and out for them
Yes.
to lose to the Cavs, even though they were up 3-1. Like that
In
affected
seven.
their
In
entire.
seven. Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
Yes.
that's a basketball's a game of runs, like you said, and momentum swings, and that was a huge one.
Yes.
And then they lose Klay Thompson when they lost to the Raptors. Klay
Yes.
Thompson destroyed
And KD.
and KD. Klay Thompson destroys his knee, and they lose
Yep.
KD. It took that for them to lose. Other than that, those guys they win 5 championships in a row.
Yeah.
So
Unheard of.
they don't. I mean,
And
we're past that era of Golden State, right? Because those players have moved on with the Clay's coming is back and Steph's there,
and
but
Steph. Yeah.
but
Greatest
I don't
shooter of
think
all
they get
time.
enough. Yeah, I don't think they got enough credit for the fact that it took these extremes for them to lose those 2 championships.
They're probably the most disrespected champions that I can think of, right? Because like
They talk about softer
Clay,
basketball now and all that stuff, and
yeah,
yeah,
talk about softer basketball and all that shit, and oh, you can't even hand check. I was like, what Steph Curry does completely reinvented the game,
yeah.
right? Like nobody was shooting from where he was shooting until he did it. You know
Right.
what I mean? That now you see Dame and all these other people do it normally.
LeBron
Like now
developed
it's
that
just
three that long game too. He had to.
yeah, he had to. Like that's a credit to his game. Like again, LeBron's in his 17th season, man. Like 17th season is still playing. Like I don't see a drop off. It's not like
I
oh man, he's
haven't.
getting weaker here.
Yeah.
Like oh he's not doing this. Like he looks almost exactly the same, but he knows when to take breaks now because he's been in the league for so long,
Right.
and he knows his body better than I think any other athlete knows their body in the NBA. You know what I mean? I think and last year was his first year with injuries ever, so I don't know, man. Before we go into the Paul Pierce thing, because fuck him forever will always be my stance. I listen.
Yeah.
I
Clearly.
would rather wear Crocs, drive a minivan, and put a Confederate flag like as the rear window tint of said minivan than ever give Paul Pierce any kind of credit.
Okay.
Ever, bro. Like I'm just saying, like I want you to understand how deep my hatred runs
Let
for
me.
him.
I'm gonna put my old
But
Paul
before
Pierce jersey out and have it back here on the next podcast we do.
if you I will end this show that moment. I will end the call immediately. But before we get into that, man, what do you think realistically? This is like our first sports heavy podcast in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you think realistically about this series, man? The Heat and because it starts tomorrow night.
I haven't been watching any
Like
sports.
for real, for real.
I'll be
Right.
honest with you. I haven't been watching any sports regularly, except the Tour de France. Shout out to
Oh,
Tour de
my
France. I was watching basketball when I was in LA, when I was in Cali, and they first started back up in the bubble. I was watching the Heat, and before this whole thing with COVID and they stopped the season, I had been watching them, and I mean the Heat were. I think they were actually at that point before they shut down the season. They were starting to really gel, and they were one of the teams that they were talking about being in contention in the East, one of the stronger teams in the East. And then they had
Yep.
that long, like
Yep.
4 or 5 month break. Taking the Miami thing out of it,
Yes.
it's I know that the team, the Heat, they're good all around. They have really really good young talent. They have. I don't want to like undervalue Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler is not just a veteran voice. Like Jimmy Butler may not be what he was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and maybe part of that is due to the guy he played for in Chicago who runs people into the ground,
Tom
Thibodeau.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and I think he played a part in running Derek D. Rose into the ground and him not recovering properly. But and some people are just fragile. You just can't. But Jimmy Butler can still play. He might not be a LeBron. He might not be even a Bam Adebayo or whatever that potential is. But like he's not a slouch. He might not be top tier where he had really like 2, 3 really like strong and close to elite seasons. 2 seasons, maybe not 3. But
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have a
too.
strong team. We have young players. We have shooters. We have defenders. LA has a lot of young talent too, but
Heart.
they're top heavy. They're top heavy. They have
Yeah,
two
they're
guys.
1 and 2,
Yeah, they got one
and
and
that's it
one A,
to
right?
me.
They got Anthony Davis who can
Yes,
shoot from anywhere too. He's not just a big
yes,
man like that dude can just take a three whenever. And
yep.
you have LeBron. Not to disrespect the rest of their team, but when you have LeBron and Anthony Davis on the same team, I think it's gonna be hard no
I
matter what.
disrespect this team.
Right? LeBron took
I,
Delonte
yeah,
West and fucking
yeah,
Verjao to the damn finals. Like now
yeah.
he's got
No,
AD
hundred
and
percent.
some other supporting cast. It's gonna be tough to beat those guys.
Yeah, they got. Listen, they got. I think they got easily the 2 best players on the court, right?
Yeah.
Like that's easy to. But I think I like it's hard for me to judge because I didn't go out of my way to watch a Lakers game, right? So I don't even know how they play basketball. Like they're supposed to be like a high defensive team because they're supposed to be long. I think when you have a balding player on your team, I can't give you as much credit like Alex Caruso. You know what I mean? I'm sure the kid's got
He's
heart, but
23, man. Shit.
I know, sir, shave it though, huh?
Yeah, he should.
Shave it.
Or talk to
You don't have
LeBron.
LeBron.
Like, be like, hey,
Yeah,
dude,
no,
can you hook me up?
that's what I was about to say. You don't have LeBron money to get a hairline, to get your hairline to come back. Which, real quick, it doesn't happen. Take
Right.
it as a man who's losing it and see the widow's peak popping. It doesn't. Your hairline doesn't grow back as you get old. That's just not a thing that happens.
No.
But I don't. I don't think. I don't know what I'm to expect from the other players on the Lakers. Right? Like, was it like a Contavious Caldwell Pope? My little research that I've done on the team, you got Alex Caruso, Dion Waiters. I don't even know if he plays. J.R. Smith is there. Don't even know if he
He
plays.
does. Son of Dion Waiters. Look, dude, I was watching when they started playing
He
when they
gets a
started
ring
playing in the,
regardless. You know that?
huh?
Dion Waiters gets a ring regardless
Why?
because he was on the Heat at the beginning of the season.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, yeah, he
Wait,
gets a ring
was that
regardless.
when he had the gummy bear incident or was that last year?
No, he had a good. He's had a bunch of incidents. He hasn't really played in the last 4 years. He had a good like 10 game run,
Uh-huh.
like towards the end of like a contract season, which Miami gave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then he never really played since because then we just changed the style, and I think we had like Jason was it Jason Richardson
Yep. Which we
uh that
packaged for Jimmy Butler, I think.
for Butler. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell of a trade. Thank you, Philly. Thank you, I appreciate it. Richardson was a hell of a baller,
Yeah.
but thank you for Jimmy Butler. Um, but yeah, like I can't mention many other players on that team that can give you what the he can give you. But again, they got LeBron and AD. So like I'm
Yeah.
hopeful, but it's LeBron and AD. You know what I mean? Unless
Uh,
Bam takes a massive step and balls the fuck out, can make us really competitive.
yeah. Hey, look, this is how much I've been following the Heat, but I don't know I don't even know how to pronounce their player's name. What's that dude's name? Hero or is it Harrow?
Yeah. No, Hero. It's Hero.
Hero.
Tyler Hero. Yep.
He's got to have multiple nights like he had on game 3? Game 2 where he put up 37?
It was
It
game
was
4 actually.
well, game 4 cuz game 3
Game
they
4.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to have a one he has got to have like 2 or 3 of those nights. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hopeful for a 4-2 LA series win. Like if the Heat take 2
Right.
from them, I'm like, all right, that's that gives you something to look forward to with a young core like that playing
Yeah.
up against the 2 of the best players in the court easily. And I mean, I say that right, but like they went up against the Greek Freak.
The top overall.
They
Yeah.
went up against Jason Tatum, who was supposed to
Yeah.
be like if he's not right there next year or the year after that, he's taking that superstar
Mm-hmm.
step. That he's right there on the cusp, but and the best player on the court.
Yes.
So 2 series in a row where they went up against better overall better talent, right? We won't say better team, better
Yes.
talent.
Yes.
But the Heat have proven to be a
I
better
think
team.
Miami's the best team. I think
Spoelstra,
Miami's the best
by
team.
the way, I think this year with that talent is proving that it wasn't just LeBron. It wasn't just him being gifted with players. And maybe, of course, Riley has something to do with it, right? Riley's a fucking
Yeah,
Hall of Famer of executives, coaches, whatever. He
I,
dude's
I,
a
I,
genius.
I didn't realize this about Riley and the whole like back to the Knicks and Heat rivalries. Like when the Knicks gave him up, like there was those rivalries because of like Jeff Van Gundy, but since Jeff Van Gundy left, they've been nothing, right? Like the Knicks,
Right.
and like it's just like what Riley's done. Riley's a Hall of Fame coach, executive. I think he's a Hall of Famer in college basketball. Like I don't know if he was like a Hall of Fame player because I don't know. I don't think he played long enough.
Right.
Like I don't
I
really
don't know.
like, again.
Well,
I
but
wasn't born.
before
Fuck,
my era, yeah.
they're a little bit before, a couple like 40 years before our time. You know what I mean? So like Riley's amazing, dude, and what he's built here and what Spolstra's continued has been amazing to watch. Like this is, and I said it before. I said it to you on or off the podcast. This is my favorite Heat team since like Dwayne Wade, Karan Butler, Lamar Odom. Like with
With the
the
unselfishness,
LeBron James. Yeah, and the LeBron. No, the thing is, like with the LeBron James team, we expected or like it's championship or bust, right?
right?
Like regardless, we weren't thinking of chemistry. We're like, oh man, it's LeBron and Dwayne Wade. They're gonna do it. You don't realize like what it takes to do it and all this other shit. And LeBron had to find out the hard way, having the worst 3 games of his NBA career against the Mavs in those final three, right?
Hmm.
Folding in the fourth, well documented.
Yeah.
But like you don't really like we're for that it was like, oh man, we're gonna win the championship every year. Like with the you go back to that, I think it was like the Hornets and Heat series where like Dwayne Wade took over and just became that guy. I'm not saying that like you can see the similarities in the periphery of a Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah.
The kid's a rookie, right? For real shit, Dwayne Wade is a better scorer and Dwayne Wade's the best Heat of all time, right? Like that's just what it like. LeBron wasn't there long enough for me to give him that. LeBron's number two though, but LeBron was like a mercenary where he was like, "Yo, man, I got to
I,
figure out how to do this
yeah.
shit," and
D
then
Wade also
and then
has
come,
could potentially have 2 championships before LeBron gets there if he doesn't fuck his back up against Detroit in the Eastern Conference. I think it was
yes,
the Eastern Conference Finals.
yep,
They would have been in
because
the finals back to back. They would have possibly had a
yep,
second championship.
exactly. So Dwayne Wade's the best Heat of all time, but Tyler Hero's a better shooter than Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, D Wade never
Like
developed that long range game.
never. And Tyler Hero has that. Tyler Hero's only gonna get strong because he's a wiry little dude.
Hmm.
And if he just listen, man, if he becomes 25 to 45% of what Dwayne Wade was, and with Bam Adebayo probably being our best big man since Alonzo Mourning, because again, Shaq wasn't there long enough. It's scary, dude. Like in
Maybe
this
not
new
twenty
NBA,
five
because
percent. Let's not give D Wade that much credit. I know you're a fanboy, but let's say he's 70% of
no,
what
but
D Wade was.
I'm saying for what he mean. I'm saying no. I'm saying like what he meant, like in like what he means to the team. Not like, dude. I told you he's a better shooter, and I think he's
Yeah,
eventually going to be a better player on that side of the ball. But I'm
yeah,
saying like the impact on the team. You mean like Dwayne Wade did a lot of things that Tyler Hero doesn't quite do yet. Like
yeah. D
Tyler
Wade
Hero
took
doesn't
over
play much
games.
defense. Yeah, Tyler Hero's taking over games. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo took over that fourth quarter.
Right,
I think
but
they
I
were
mean,
like,
D Wade took over an entire series. That series against the
yeah,
Mavs.
yeah, 100%. But you put like the reason why the Heat play so much zone is because Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson aren't athletic enough to cover 1-on-1.
Yeah,
Like that's
Hey,
realistically why they do it, right? Like Tyler Hero has to become better on that end
I
for
don't
me to be
understand
like,
how in the
yeah,
NBA you still play man to man like zone just
have
makes
you never?
sense. Zone just makes
It
sense.
doesn't make zone just makes sense. Zone just makes all the sense in the world. Just have a big guy in the middle. The thing is they play it flipped, right? The Heat play they're 2 and 3, they're 2 and 4 really, or they're 3 and 4 at the front, and
Hmm.
then they're 1 and 2s on the wings with Bam in the middle. So it's brilliant the way they do because they put their longer shit on the front.
Yeah,
It's amazing. Listen, I want to say the Heat in 7. If the Heat can pull out 3 victories from this team, I don't give a fuck what happens in the seventh game. I'd be hyped. I'd be
they're
nervous.
playing in Florida
But if the
regardless.
Heat can, I know. No, but I'm saying like as far as beating the Lakers 3 times,
Yeah,
right? and then you toss up the ball in the seventh game and you see what happens. LeBron probably takes over and it becomes a heartbreaking game because whatever, right? Like that's kind of my prediction.
Maybe, but there's a
But
possibility that LeBron gets in his own head because oh shit, I'm playing against the Heat, this franchise that I left. They just they
yeah,
left and they rebuilt after I left like immediately. They're right back to being
the
in contention and relevant. What 2 years after he left? 3 years? No, it's been more than that. But they're
six,
yeah, it's
six,
been 6 years. Shit, it's been 2 years since he left Cleveland. But still,
yeah,
like it didn't take long for Miami to rebuild. He,
no,
I think it's if it gets to Game 7, it could. It's this is not real. It's not a very insightful take, but it can go either way. Like you said, LeBron takes over,
the,
but just as easily, the dude can get into his own head, think about the franchise he played for and the pressure that he's going to put on himself. And
I mean, you could
could we
also
see
say that
LeBron
about
take
it.
over a game, or could we see LeBron in the early Heat days where he just folded in the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
And he'll
I mean,
defer
what?
and pass to make the right play, quote unquote, because he's got Anthony Davis there. So it's not like he's gonna be
But
like, I just you know
that's my that's my like what you're saying about LeBron is what I'm thinking about Anthony Davis because he's never been here before. He's
right.
never played on a team with expectations, right? Like never. Like nobody was like, "Oh man, New Orleans got a shot this year." Nobody ever said that. Like that's not words that were ever
That's where he
uttered,
could play free
right?
and be whatever. That's why
Right.
he got the attention.
And just yeah, you ball out and listen. I'm not. I'm. That's what understand. Like we're talking like this is what has to happen to give like the Heat a legit shot.
Yeah,
But
I think.
the Heat, can, if they get hot from three, it doesn't take much. You know what I mean? Like I gotta watch. I should probably go back and try to watch a Laker game, but I'm gonna watch the Lakers tomorrow, and I'll see what's coming. You know what I mean? But I'm excited for it, man. I think that there's no way it's a sweep. There's no way it's a gentleman's sweep
I
either.
hope not.
There's no way that he just lose like win one game and then go home. I think they minimum win two, possible two with a possibility of four. But I'm set at three. Like you know what I mean? Like it's if it goes seven, it I think the pressure is all on LA. Where hey man, you were supposed to beat this team.
The
Like
pressure's on
all
late
they have is
regardless. Imagine
yeah, oh,
if Miami wins game one, the pressure is going to be on them from the. It's
mhm,
already on them, but if they lose game one, it might that'll definitely be not just because they win game one, but I think it'll be in the Heat's advantage because they get to like they're already that team that wasn't supposed to be there. You know,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
think they get to play freer where LA might get tighter, might not be as yeah. If the Heat win game one, it's got a huge implications. It'll we'll see. We'll see.
There's
I think
always
what we're doing now is
there's
what every other analyst has done to the Heat while they were playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is saying, I don't think they have
it's
a
been more
shot. They're a
disrespectful.
good team.
More
We're
disrespectful
disrespecting
than
them.
that.
But now we're being
Yeah.
realistic. This is what
Yes.
everyone was doing to them against Milwaukee and against
Dude, that,
and I'm thinking like, yeah, they got the Greek Freak, but they got one player. Like they're not a bad
yeah.
team, but they have like one
No.
superstar player where the Heat have a lot of young players, a lot of young and experienced players, but they're really talented players, and they have some
Yeah.
veterans in there as well. You got Jimmy Butler, who's no, I
I
don't know,
think that's I think the veterans is what the difference was in the Boston series.
yeah,
I think having those like I was thinking about it and I talked about it on the last part, the one I did solo, was like I can't think of a vet that they have that's a leader on that team. I think they're too young. And the thing is, you can't and I don't think you could develop into a veteran and also a leader. You get what I'm saying? Like you need an Andre Iguodala,
yeah.
right? Like if Andre Iguodala is on the Boston Celtics, the Heat don't win that series. Like just real talk, because you have the experience. Andre Iguodala has what 161 playoff games, third all
Finals
time.
experience, like playoff crunch
Yeah,
time experience.
playoff crunch, the highest level of experience. You put him on Boston, totally different series,
I
totally
mean,
different take, totally
didn't
different.
he come back? I know LeBron had that block, but didn't Iguodala have a block of his own like the series the year before?
Yes,
I don't know if it was on
yeah, he
LeBron. It
stripped
could
him
have been.
on the
He
on.
stripped LeBron, right?
He stripped him on the side. Yeah, he
Yeah.
stripped him on the side for like a yeah. No, he's listen. Iguodala's gonna bring that, and then you have Jay Crowder, and you still have Udonis Haslam, right? Udonis Haslam doesn't play at all. The guy's
No,
basically a
I was gonna
coach,
say, what's that dude doing?
but
Like he's the water boy. He like He's got the
First of
towel
all,
and
don't disrespect Udonis Haslam
I mean,
ever
come
in your
on,
lifetime.
UD's been around since like
No,
1978.
yeah, he's old. He's first of all, he's 40 now, so put some respect on his name. But he's a locker room leader,
No,
right?
he
Like,
is,
who is that? Like,
and
if
he's
you
been
go
there.
back, you
He's been
can't
there.
you can't say that for Boston. Who can you say? Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's never gotten out of the first round.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum, all his growth has been in the playoffs. Oh, you got to hit your bro. You got to have a veteran leader on that squad. You can't all be young. It's impossible. Like somebody had like a Jaylen Brown has to leave, and they had to trade him away and bring in a vet. I don't know who that veteran is and who they could bring in, but they need some changes. And I don't want to give Boston
and you think it's
any
Jalen
kind of
Brown
credit.
that they got to get rid of?
I mean, Marcus Smart is a heartbeat for them, right?
Yeah,
But they have to get rid of a piece that's valuable.
yeah, it is.
They
But yeah,
have to bring in a
You're not letting go of Jason Tatum. You're right. Damn, it's just tough
no.
when you
Jason
say
Tatum's
like,
not.
damn, you got to let go of Jalen Brown.
Yes, dude. Look, they don't run the offense for. Let's be real. They don't. I've watched all six of those games. They don't run the offense for Jaylen Brown. They
Yeah,
pass it to him in the corner, and he gets offensive rebounds. They're not setting picks for him.
no,
It's all athleticism and all on his own. I could see Jaylen Brown. Real shit. I could see Jaylen Brown on the Miami Heat. Like I would. That's what I would be a fan of. Like to be the heir apparent to Jimmy Butler when Jimmy leaves,
yeah,
right? And Jimmy hangs it up. But I don't. That's the mistake they made. I'm looking at them. I was like, yeah, they got guys, and they got look. Boston had more talent than the Heat, right? Like for 1 through 15, they got
absolutely.
Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? These are household names if you watch the NBA. The Heat have had a bunch of young guys and shooters, and you got Bam Adebayo with that Bam Adebayo block was the game changer. You know what I mean? What the fuck is my dog doing? I
what?
don't know.
What did you say about your dog?
No, my dog is like randomly smelling around. It's weird. He's just walking around and shit. But yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why they get
I
disrespected,
hate
right?
being
Because they don't
positive.
have this elite talent. And Jim, to be realistic, Jimmy Butler's not that, not anymore. I mean, he was close to it at one point. He was never, in the league of LeBron and D Wade and all that. But he had a couple years where he was at that level. But
He's
the
a
Heat don't
savvy
have that
veteran
one
now.
guy. They don't have that superstar,
Right.
and I think that's where the disrespect comes from. But as a
Yeah.
team overall, their depth in the bench, like they're a better team,
Yes.
and that's you said it. You said it when you went on your own. Was it on Sunday? We've talked about it
Yep.
before. Basketball's a game of runs. So Paul
Yes.
Pierce and these other guys that are talking about Boston played better. I'm like, dude, they played better in the first half. Like, do you not remember when
Man,
LeBron and D Wade and all that? What were the Heat known for? Monster third quarters. They would come out and demolish
yes.
the opponent. If it
Yep.
was they were
Yep.
down by 2, down by 4, down by 6, next thing you know, third quarter's over and the Heat are up by 14. Like that's
Yep.
what they were known for. You make adjustments,
Yes.
right? Who forgot
Yes.
about that word adjustments? And maybe this is
So
coming from because I'm a Heat fan, a homer, call me whatever, but that's what basketball is. Like
yeah.
you make a couple stops here, you make a couple threes, and the Heat have shooters, and then you're right back in the game. So I don't get those takes, those hot takes. They just nonsensical, especially from
Dude,
former
I don't
players, knowing that basketball is a game of runs and that it's like I don't get it.
the the disrespect because even like Richard Jefferson was like, you know what, Boston like he was almost saying like Boston should have won this series. Hey, bro, they played in the series and won 2 games.
Yeah,
Like their chance to win it was in the series,
yeah,
not after the fact in the locker room. Like you don't win in the locker room. You win on the fucking basketball court. You should have stopped Bam Adebayo when he was being point center and driving the ball down your fucking throat and dunking on you, hitting you with a J. Assist. Call a timeout during that time and stop it. Then don't be
right.
like, oh man, Boston should have won this series. You had your chances.
Yeah, who
And
cares how
guess
good
what?
you were?
Miami,
2.5 quarters
yeah,
in.
I don't give a fuck if you were how good you were 3.5 quarters in. If you let the game slip away, it's because the other team took it.
That's why
That's that
LeBron
simple
gets so
as
much
that.
shit because in Miami he would just shrink and just shirk the responsibility off to someone else because you need to be able to close. So Miami
My
closed games
hatred,
out. That's what they did, and they're not getting
yeah.
the credit. Instead of saying
And my
Miami took it, they hustled more. The analysts, because it wasn't the Boston players. The Boston players, Jason Tatum said, he said, "Hey, they played harder than
yeah.
we did." They're talented and
Yep.
they played harder than we did and they executed better. That's it. Really, that's what it came down to. Down the stretch, they executed better. It wasn't we made mistakes. It was they
Yep.
executed better, and like that's what it comes down to. Like you can be up the entire game by 8 points, 6 points. If in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game you can't handle the pressure, that's what it's about, right? Taking that
That's
W,
yeah.
however you do it.
And it was so weird, like where they changed their talking points were like, oh man, it's crunch time. This is where legends are made, or well, all
Right,
all the fucking bullshit they say. Oh, cool, legends. So legends aren't made in the first quarter, then, right?
right.
So in these last 2 minutes, when Miami's out executing you in a close game where it matters, not when you're up by 10 or 12 and it's easy, right? Like Boston did. There's 2 wins. They won by double digits.
Yeah. Where's
When
that
you're when
talk?
you're being out executed, where's that talk now? They never said that. It was like, I mean, well, Boston should have won this game. You could see it's all like congratulatory of Boston. I was like, yo, but they won 2 games. And again, look, I like Jason Tatum. I'm indifferent for Kemba Walker. He's solid, but I don't think he does anything to make anybody better. In the
Uh,
playoffs, like where it
it's
counts in the
hard to
playoffs.
tell
In
when
the
you have
playoffs,
Jason Tatum on your team, and it's hard to.
Jason Tatum's
Kemba Walker's a beast, man. I
Jason
was
Tatum's
watching him.
ridiculous.
I saw him play. I saw him play in college, and
I saw him play at Connecticut
when he played in
with
Charlotte, like
with
he played for the Hornets too. Like he had when you talk about having nobody, and he still
yeah,
like
but
would take that team to the playoffs, even if they don't get out of it. Like you, if he wasn't playing with Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker would be the go to guy, the number one option on that team, on whatever
yeah,
team.
but then that team isn't as good. If Kemba Walker is the number one option, that team isn't as good. I'm not. That's not diminishing Kemba Walker. Jason Tatum's ceiling is 1,000 times higher than Kemba
No,
Walker's
yeah,
ceiling
Kemba
will
Walker's
ever
getting
be.
close to like he's still like late 20s, I think. So it's not like he's
Yeah,
if anything
but
he's
NBA
entering his
that's old.
prime, but his ceiling is not
Yeah,
what Tatum is. Yeah,
yeah. He's at his ceiling. He's hanging
yeah,
out at the
yeah.
top. Like, oh man,
We've seen it. That's
this
where he is. That's what he
we've
is.
seen the best Kemba. We've
Yeah,
seen the best of Kemba. We haven't seen the best of Jason Tatum.
yeah. You're right.
Right? Like that hasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum. God, the fact that people like 2 other teams passed up on him. The fact that Lonzo Ball got drafted before him is. Could you think about the fact
The
that
Lakers.
Jason Tatum could be on the Lakers
Yeah,
with LeBron? Like that's
yeah,
crazy, yo.
yeah. If that were the case right now, I'd be
Crazy.
saying like, I hope that he can score 15 points in the first half.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It'd be a totally. There would have been a totally different show.
yeah, but you know
Like,
why?
oh man,
You know
fuck.
why this jersey? Like, I have the jersey up there, but that's why the Heat were. Why the Celtics weren't really getting a real like. We people wanted to see Celtics and Lakers. That's the series that
Yes.
interested everyone. That's the sexy series,
Yep.
right? With the rivalry going back
Hmm.
to as long as it goes. That's what everyone wanted to see. That's what sells. I'm not gonna say sells tickets, but when you're talking about there's still ads being run during the games, that advertising money and everything that goes with the Lakers and the Celtics series and that rivalry. That's why
Yeah.
when these analysts would talk about them, they weren't. I don't think they were being as truthful or as harsh as they could have been, and they were kind of painting it in
Yeah.
more of a not the Heat being better, but the Celtics kind of just didn't play up to what they could have been. So the way that they spun that narrative was because of that, I think.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I mean, yeah, obviously, look, you got two storied franchises, right? 17 and 16 titles or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? They had their rivalry back when it got kind of reignited when
The big three.
Boston got KG. I'm not gonna say his name, bro. Got KG and Ray Allen. Not gonna say his name again. I already.
The
Not gonna say
truth.
it.
The truth.
First of all, Truth Hurts is the dumbest segment I've ever
Yeah.
heard in my life. That's so
The
stupid.
truth
First of all,
hurts.
you also gave yourself. He gave himself that nickname.
I know.
Nobody should give themselves the nickname.
You
all right?
also you also
Let's
when you also needed a wheelchair because you had to go take a shit in the middle of a game or like during game one
Yeah.
against Milwaukee or whenever the hell that happened in
Yeah,
the playoff
yeah.
series.
So I'm out on all of that. He said listen. He said that he's a better wing shooter than Klay Thompson, the second or third best shooter of all time. Steph, Reggie, Clay. However you want to put that. If you know what I mean? And Clay still got some time to go. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Who else comes after Steph, Reggie, Clay? Who comes after that?
Who the fuck would you put after that? Who matters?
Ray
As a
Allen?
three? Yeah, the Ray.
We forgot about Ray Allen.
Yeah,
Come on.
I forgot about Ray Allen. Son, the shot in the corner.
Come
He
on,
saved the
man.
championship. I Yo, son, I totally spaced, and I literally just mentioned them when he was on Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the
Come on.
top. Like he's
I
not.
know you have a hatred for
Would you?
Boston, so like you like
Yeah,
blanked out his name,
son,
like it didn't matter. But he played for the
son,
Heat,
literally,
and
like
you got to give him
there
credit.
was a heat wall. It was a heat wall that came up in front of my face, and I couldn't see Boston's roster, and I completely forgot about Ray Allen on fuck in the Heat. And yeah, Ray Allen before everything was the best shooter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like old school was like Reggie, Ray, Steph, and Clay. Now
Yeah.
it's Steph. I think Steph's the best shooter of all time. Steph, and then you could mix in those three. I would put Clay fourth. Just you know what I mean, but Clay has the possibility to go to number two for me.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's a better pure shooter. Steph is a better pure scorer from the three. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's that weird differentiation. But I don't know, man.
I know
I'm
you want to
excited.
close. I know you want to close the show out, but we got to talk about this UFC 253 that I don't think you really
Yes.
covered on the show on Sunday.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I want
Yeah.
because it was weird to talk about it, dude. The biggest thing coming out of that was is Israel Adesanya's titty. Have you seen that shit? Like, did you watch the fight?
What about it? Because I was telling my wife, I
You didn't
said,
see that it was like deflated.
"Oh,
You said it was like deflated.
yeah, I was telling Mel, I said, hey, this dude is
Yeah.
ripped, but he looks like he's got man boobs. Like, what's going on with Izzy?"
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I said, just pay attention. And she was looking. She's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's kind of like okay. I thought I was seeing shit, and then I have to go back and see his other fights. I'm like, is he just built like that? Is that what his body's built like, or what's going on with his titties? Like,
Yeah, no,
okay,
it was weird.
it
It's
was
called.
weird.
So I looked it up. It's something called gynecomastia or some
Uh-huh.
shit. It's like it happens in men. It's kind of like the separation of the breast. Let me look it up because actually I think I have it right here
Uh-huh.
on my phone because I was looking it up because I was like, yo, what the fuck is that shit? Yeah, gynecomastia. It's an enlargement or swelling of breast tissue in males. It's mostly commonly caused by male estrogen levels that are too high or are out of balance with testosterone levels and large male breast tissue.
So John Jones could literally make him his bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like the picture that they have here is pretty embarrassing. Like literally looks like boobs, dude. Like first of all, they use the white dude. That's very disrespectful. Let me see. You see that? Look at that, John. Look at that.
Damn.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, I
You see
see.
that?
Stop showing me that, please.
No, but look.
That's
No,
disturbing.
but look, John.
I have him on
John,
my
look.
phone as well. Damn it, Jesus!
No, John, look. John, look.
Stop,
Yeah, yeah.
stop. Is this an X-rated show now?
Now, it might be if we just showed male boobs. First of all, male nipples aren't banned on Instagram, so we're good. What was weird about that is that he had that issue, right? Don't know how it happens. I'm not here to talk or allege anything about that shit. Could care less. But he destroyed Paulo Costa, man. Like
What happened
destroyed
with him?
him, yo.
Because Costa, the day after, or the day, maybe 2 days after. That's when I finally caught it because again, I wasn't really, I don't have my social media on, and he supposedly
Right.
said he just says he was very vague. Oh, something happened. My team knows what happened, but I'm not gonna make excuses. We'll be ready next
Sounds
time.
like an excuse.
Exactly right. He
You're
said
not
something
getting away
happened. I'm not making excuses. We're
That's
gonna
an
get you
excuse.
next time. I'm like, didn't you just say something happened? Didn't you just preface the I'm not gonna make excuses with something happened?
Something
So I'm
happens,
trying
an
to figure
excuse.
out what happened because he's not the same guy that I've seen fight before. He's always coming forward,
Ever.
always really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's that theory, right? That something actually did happen, or what happens to other people? Like Romero didn't want to come forward. Now, granted,
Yep.
Izzy, when he fought Romero, Izzy didn't want to come forward either because they got into a quick
Terrible
little
fight.
scuffle and Romero touched him up. And Izzy felt that and
Yep.
he just kept his distance. Whereas with Costa, Izzy, he didn't keep his, I mean, he kept his distance, but he was leg striking and he would mix it up. And Costa wasn't throwing his arms. He wasn't throwing his hands. He wasn't swinging. He wasn't
He
throwing
didn't do anything.
I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on with that dude because at that point, once you're in that close range, like throw. What are you waiting for? and he didn't throw.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't throw. So like Adesanya didn't. You can't make the excuse that they were too far apart, like in the Romero fight, which was again ridiculous. That needs to be deleted from existence. That shouldn't even count as a
Yes,
fight. But
true.
Adesanya this time he kicked, he pursued the action, and Costa didn't return anything. And so it's perceivable. It's possible that something happened. I don't know what that something was. Maybe an injury. Maybe he couldn't
Uh,
throw. I don't
can I
know.
can I tell you what it was? I
But
got the breaking news.
what's that? The fear that Adesanya is so precise with his strikes that he didn't want to throw something and leave himself open, or that he
No,
fought a
the
bunch
leg
of
kicks.
nobodies. No, those leg kicks
He
were a
fought.
beast.
No, he and it's true what Adesanya said. He fought a bunch of punching bags.
Yeah,
He fought a bunch of people that were willing to trade. Why? Why would you trade with Paulo Costa? Boxing is his forte. You don't trade with Paulo Costa.
yeah,
You outfight Paulo Costa, and those leg kicks destroyed him. Like he was done before that first round was over. Son, I've seen bad leg kicks, but usually it's like on the inside where you usually can't see it.
yeah.
Like the the camera was right on the side where his legs were getting kicked,
Bro,
and you could
immediately I
see
saw.
every
Yeah, I
every
looked and I'm
hit,
like,
and
that
he
shit looks like he's got indentations in his calves.
yeah, and then like I'll send you the link of some doctor on YouTube like broke it down like what Izzy was hitting and targeting, and like he breaks it down to like how it affects you. It's like oh my god, like how precise is this motherfucker,
Right
man?
on the knee. And not only that, but
Yeah.
those front kicks that I thought he was gonna like
Hmm.
dislocate his knee. He had
Yes.
a couple
Yeah.
of those where I was like, whoa. And I know that kick right there itself, it's frowned upon because it does have that possibility that if you land it right on the knee, you're gonna end up looking like one of those
You get
aliens
shot
from
in
the
the knee.
arrival where your knees are facing bent the
Shout out
wrong
to
way.
that reference.
Yeah.
Shout out to that
The
reference. God damn.
1993, I think.
Charlie
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, man. Oh my god. Ends up that black kid that's his friend is also an alien.
Also
Oops.
an alien.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, in case you haven't
Spoiler
seen this
alert, my
movie, it's
bad.
like 27 years old.
27 years old. No
Uh,
such thing as a spoiler alert. No, but
Yeah,
I
those
don't
kicks were
know. So
vicious. Yeah, Mel and Javi saw it too. I was like, yo, this dude is not gonna make it. Like, I don't even know how he's still standing. Which once you get
Steven,
touched up like that, once if you land something to the head, you have no legs to hold you up.
but yeah, it didn't matter. He literally chopped him down
Yeah,
like a tree. What was I was texting Steven during the fight because I was in a group chat, and I'm sure you saw him like later. Like
yeah, much
he
later.
wasn't happy. Yeah, he wasn't happy about it. But I was like you. I don't understand how. I guess because he made some comments after he fought Anderson Silva, but you can't not like Adesanya because he's basically like Anderson Silva, right? Like
Yeah,
he's like a thinner guy. Are you eating a pizza, bro? Did you just cheers the pizza? Yeah, I hope it's hot because it looks like it's hot because you're doing that out breath where you're like,
I try to mute it so you wouldn't hear me
you ever
chewing,
done?
but you know what? Fuck you.
You know that's like a thing. Like people hate hearing other people chew. It's like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Just being disrespectful. Like it's like a fear for people. I
I
forget what
know.
it's
So
called.
you're saying people hated Adesanya. I didn't. You're on a flow state
Yeah,
right
no,
there.
Steven hates Adesanya, and I was like, dude, I don't understand how you could hate him. He's basically Anderson Silva 2.0.
He's
Like
Anderson
he's
Silva
out.
and he's John Jones. They're just better
Yeah,
fighters.
yes. Like I don't understand like how you cannot like him. Like oh, I just don't like him. I was like, all right, whatever, man. I makes sense, I guess, to just not like him. But that fight was like I saw the two main fights. Reyes, because shout out to Reddit. Um, I I shout out to the good old VPN. They
Yeah.
the shout out to the VPN. I saw the Reyes fight, which was weird. He didn't look like he just looked like he didn't want to be there. Like when Cowboy fought Connor, like
Hmm.
you could just see where like oh okay he's not all the way here. You know what I mean? Like it just like Brendan Schaub talks about it all the time. Like you have no control over it. It just kind of happens. Like where you just like you're there, but you're not like you're going through the motions
Hmm.
and you're trying to figure. But for some reason, your heart and your mind just isn't there that day. No, by no fault of your own. You did the training and everything, and you could just see it. And that's what Reyes looked like. Reyes looked like he didn't know like he never fought before.
I saw
It was
I saw the end of that fight, and then I had to watch the replay because something happened with my TV, um, or my feed. But Reyes took some nasty. Like, did you see? I think it was on his right side. That whatever kick he took from Jan. How do you say his name? Blackwoods.
Blackovich.
Blakovich,
Blackovich?
whatever
Yeah,
that dude's name is.
Yeah.
He took a nasty leg kick because he bruised the hell out of those
Yeah.
ribs. I'm pretty sure that
Yes.
after he took that, there's no way that he could really throw punches. If
No.
it had that
Because
effect,
I'm assuming you can't really throw it because it's all connected.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would feel it in your back like that. That
I mean, you
whole
can't even
shit
throw
was
kicks.
bruised
All
up.
that is connected. Like just
Yeah. Real quick, John Jones, please don't come back to 205. I don't want to see you against this guy. I'm all set, bro. Please move up to heavyweight. Please move up to heavyweight. No, no, I don't want to see you fight this guy. I don't want to see you come back and fight Reyes. No, I'm all set, bro. You've
you
been
don't see
there
him. You don't want
12
to see him
years.
fight Izzy. Like there's no need for him to fight Jan Blakovich or Blakovich, whatever his name is. Why? Like essentially, that dude's been a journeyman. Like he's been around for a minute,
Yeah,
and
yeah. He got a cool run now. I'm all set, bro. I want to see you fight Stipe. John Jones. I want to see you fight Francis Ngannou. I want to see you fight better quality of fight. I don't want to see you fight anybody at 205, bro. Anybody. There's no rivalry with John just because he said your name. There's no energy there.
yeah, there's
Nobody
nothing there.
cares for it. There's
No,
nothing there. I don't want to see it at all. What's so motherfucking ever, man?
but that's the
But
reason. Like you said, that's the reason why those guys are hated so much. John Anderson Silva, Izzy, and
mm-hmm.
probably the guy who maybe started this whole all around athlete thing, GSP.
Yes,
But they were not
yeah,
just they couldn't just fight. Like I mean, you could get in there and throw if you wanted to. And they, if you want to, if you want to just throw punches, they could do that. But they were just smarter fighters, on top of just
yeah,
how talented they were. They were at
mm-hmm.
completely different levels than the people that they were fighting. I mean, Anderson Silva had a freak broken foot and he did get beat, but it happens with age. He was 36,
Yeah.
37, and had been doing it for a minute, but he was on top fighting the top fighters for a long
The
time.
best of the best.
John
Yeah.
Jones,
Oh, Izzy
if
said it. Izzy said it in the post fight press conference where he was like, I might do what what Anderson
Anderson's,
Silva did. Where where he like dips his toes in 205, comes back, goes to 205, comes back, but never makes it a dedicated weight class. Like it's not. There's no need. I'm. Just, you got to just enjoy this time because he's still. Well, Izzy's not that young either though. Izzy's 31.
dude, he's had like
You know what I mean?
78 kickboxing fights,
Yeah,
something
he's
like that.
75 and yeah, seven. He's like 75-4 or some wild shit.
So yeah, 78,
But yeah,
79
man.
fights. Yeah.
But up next, man, Gaethje, Khabib. We're going to talk about that that week of. Shout out to Reddit and the VPN.
Shout
But
out to hey, by the way, Firefox has a new VPN. You might want to check them out, see what they provide
all
for
right,
you.
well,
I'm not saying I'm using them,
uh,
but it's like $4.99 for apparently the same service that other companies, Express, Nord, IPVanish, whatever all these VPN companies charge. Um,
okay,
so, and it's a name that
I'll
you know.
definitely check it out. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out. Hey, man, so the debates are tonight. You watching?
I'm gonna put on my MAGA hat and take a drive because it's about 40 minutes from where I live. It's at Case
Cool.
Western Reserve University in
I didn't know
Cleveland.
that was a real place. That sounds like a shitty motel.
Case Western Reserve
I'm gonna
University is
go.
actually a very prestigious research university. It's also like 55 grand to go there. They're known for
Of course it is.
computer engineering and science and that stuff, but that's where it's
Oh,
being held.
that's first of all, it's too many words in a university. Case was it case?
CWRU. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's if you can't. No, I'm good.
Case. It's known as Case.
Case Western. What was it? Regional
Reserve.
University.
Reserve
Oh, Reserve.
University. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay,
It's a lot of words.
yeah. So it's crew. We could just say crew. CWRU. All right. Nah, man. I mean, congrats to them. I'm probably gonna watch a little bit of it, but I'll most likely watch like the highlights because it's gonna be a shit show, right? Like realistically, it's gonna be a shit show. One person can't talk and the other person can't say words. So those are two different things for two different people, but it doesn't matter which one's which.
Which person can't say words? Is that the person that
Oranges.
is that the one that lends his name to everything? Like, let me just license my name
Yeah.
out to here. You want to put my name on a
Yeah,
hotel
yeah.
in Russia? What? Let's do that.
I gotta look. We'll end it with this. I just have a question. I just have a question, right? How are you $1 billion in debt but also a billionaire.
Wait,
Like I don't understand how that works.
well, he's a
Like
billionaire.
how do you allegedly, right? Like I have no proof of that. Like I know he owes a lot of people money, but again, like if you have billions of dollars, how do you owe people money? You get what I'm saying? Like because I have a credit card that's due every second, right? Like every second of the month. I have to pay that shit, right? If I don't get it, if I don't pay it, shit goes against me. Like I don't understand that level of money, right? Like
Yeah,
how do you have debt when you have money? You get what I'm saying?
yeah. But I mean, a lot of
Like I
these
have a
companies do
loan for
that.
my
Like, what was it? WeWork, the company that was essentially they were essentially they rented office space to people, teleworkers,
right,
and things like that. That's what they were, essentially a real estate company. They were valued at, I don't know, four or eight, I forget how many billions of dollars. They were going public. So then when people started doing the due diligence on them, when analysts and other people started doing due diligence before they went public, they realized this company is just riddled with debt. Because
yeah,
in real estate it's easy. You borrow money to get all this real estate, but you're not actually they weren't actually generating any cash flow. That's the big problem with a lot of these like new tech companies that they're valued at 30, 40 billion dollars, whether it's Uber, Lyft, whatever companies, but they don't actually generate money. They
yeah.
have a lot of debt. They borrow and they have investment money, and it's like I mean the stock market is what it is. It's speculating. It's a lot of speculation,
Yeah.
and that's what they get valued on. But if you look at some of their financial, if you look at their actual balance sheets, I don't
So
know. Yeah, there's nothing. Trump. I mean, I just said his name, but
yeah,
that's what it is. The majority of his money came from being a celebrity, uh,
yep.
from
And
however
his
long that
dad.
show was on the air. His dad, because
Right.
his dad also ran. He was
Mhm.
big in real estate, so a lot of money came from his
Yep.
dad. Being a celebrity, and then when that happened, where he was a celebrity and he was a household name, he took advantage of it and he licensed his name to all sorts of products. And we've talked about this on and off the air.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whether it's like 8 millions to one company, 500,000 to another company, 200,000 somewhere else, uh, his money was made from licensing deals like that, and from creating all these crazy get rich quick schemes. Trump University was one
Yes.
of them, or the Trump
University.
secrets to like how to close a deal. That's not the exact name, but that's the gist of what he was selling.
Uh,
I'm not
Trump steaks.
yeah,
Trump airplanes.
yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Selling the American dream to people, or
Yeah.
what people thought was the
And
American
it's
dream of excessiveness and money and luxury. But his
yeah
golf
the
courses
con
don't
right.
actually make any name money. They actually lose money
Yeah.
every year.
Every year, like most go out, and that's not a Trump specific thing. Like
Right.
most golf courses lose money every year,
They do.
but I think, and it's not, and it's again, it's not like I'm just asking about it because the Trump taxes thing just came out, but like I don't understand how that works, right? Like just from my own ignorance, like if you are allegedly a billionaire how many times over, how do you have this debt? Like what, like isn't that a hurt to your net worth, right? Like, and why would you take out loans if you have the money? I don't, you know what I mean? Like if you have billions of dollars, because I'm thinking about it like, because I think about it like a bank account, right? But it's not a bank account. It's a net worth that's put into a Wall Street, that's speculation. So it's not like you can get your card. It's like this fictional thing, this fantastical thing where you're like, oh yeah, he does have this kind of money, but if he goes to his Chase bank account, he doesn't, or whatever the fuck. It's weird.
It's because of well, yeah, that's why if you saw how much he paid in taxes or didn't pay in taxes, that's why you
Yep.
have that much debt. So especially if he's got real estate debt, but if you have a lot of those loans, a lot of that debt, you I don't know what the term is. I know because I've done it, but a lot of it's not a write off, but a lot of that stuff it brings down your tax,
Right. Okay.
right? Well,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like your tax bracket, like almost brings down like your tax bracket. We said like, yeah, it says that I'm worth this much, and then there's the whole thing where like, his lawyer says like, no, he lies to the IRS, but when he's gonna sell it, he boosts them up. That you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
well,
there's
that's
that whole
that's
aspect of
just
it.
illegal. But if you have like you can
Yeah,
depreciate
well, I mean, but that's
you
what
can
he.
depreciate business assets. So if I have a home office and I'm running a business, I have things like and I bought equipment for that business and I'm running, then you can have business assets. You can depreciate business assets, and all that stuff decreases your tax burden. But
Right.
like you said, then he lies about how much something is worth, and then when he goes to sell it, he changes the price to yeah. That's
Yes.
illegal. That is
Yeah, that's
that
illegal.
is, and that's
But I
probably why
mean,
he's under investigation to begin with, and he has been
right.
since who
So
knows how long.
the story goes, and then I didn't. The story goes that that's why he wants to hold on to power so bad because he owes allegedly the government like $75 million,
And they're coming due
and as
in two
long as he's
years.
yeah, and but as long as he's president, that gets pushed back. So again, if you're a billionaire, how do you not have $75 million? I just got questions, bro. I don't know the answers. I'm not here trying to pretend that I do know the answers. I'm just wondering. You muted yourself.
I did. I was
There
trying to
you go.
listen to someone else, but I can't listen to everyone at the same time. Yeah, no, we all
It's
have questions,
impossible.
man. Those are questions that we have, and they're valid questions to have of someone that's holding
Yeah.
the highest office in the
Yeah.
land, right?
I yeah, and I thought about this today, right? Like, you know how we're like vote for Biden, don't vote for Biden, vote third party, don't vote whatever. Like the difference is, and I thought about this today, and I'm not saying it in a monolithic manner, but the difference in my perspective, right? Because life is all about perspective, is that I'm a voter. I'm never a fan of a politician, right? Like
Right.
I think that's the difference, right? Like he has fans. When you're a fan of somebody, you make excuses for them, right? Like growing up, you're a fan of Michael Jordan, right? And he can't get past the Pistons. I mean, but they foul him too much. You know what I mean? It's never, you know what I mean? It's never like a credit to
Yeah.
that other team or
It's
to
also
that to
yeah.
the
It's never a well. He's taking
you
on
know
triple teams. How about he just passes the
yeah
ball? It's always like they're fouling him.
yeah exactly. There's never like a critical way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's that perspective. So like that's why like I said it on the show, the solo one where I was like I'm just done talking about it, like because I'm not talking to a voter or a person that understands I'm talking to a person who's fanatical about it. You know what I mean? We're like, it's making all but they're doing this, they're doing that. It's like, hey man, but he's also responsible for his actions, right? Like that's all my arguments ever been. Like he's done X, Y, and Z, right? Like these things, he's actually done this, or
Right.
that this person has actually done this. That also has to be taken into account. So I'm never gonna as a voter of the opposition party, if you want to put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna approach things when people will be like, oh, but what about Pelosi? I was like, I don't give a fuck about Pelosi. I don't give a fuck about Schumer. I don't give a fuck about 98% of those. I don't give a fuck about actually any of them. Not a single one in the way you care about this guy. Like
Right.
not one. I don't know their stats, bro. I'm not here. You know what I mean? I'm not here looking at their voting record. I'm here looking at the way they act when I see them. How they vote behind closed doors doesn't mean shit to me. I want to see because I can smell bullshit, and I don't trust a single politician. It's the way I look at it. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
Yeah, man.
that's
They
again love this country because of it. This is where I've achieved what I've been able to achieve.
hundred
But
percent.
let's be realistic. Like if things are bullshit, let's call bullshit, right? What's that
It's called bullshit. Yeah.
what's that song by is it Outkast? Roses?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly right.
Right? Like
Ah, fuck.
not it's like
That's so.
thank you, sir. Yeah, man, this is called bullshit. Like not everything's right. This whole two-party system, not what the founding
Bullshit.
fathers wanted. Um
Nope. Illusion of
it's
choice is
funny
what it
because
is.
I was watching some YouTube video with Javi. He's doing a was doing a something on Greek democracy and how everything worked in Athens, and how yeah only males that were adult males that owned land were allowed to vote, right? So yeah,
Yep.
that's that fucked up aspect. But the parts that worked, which were they had term limits, the actual people voted. It
Yes.
was there wasn't just a one or two party ruling system. Now it devolved into different things. Like only the military class was the ruling class at one point, but we don't have
Right.
we don't have a real representative democracy of like what the people, and that's been obvious because our current
Yes.
president didn't win the popular vote, and yet he's our current president. And
Yeah.
we have the electoral college, which gives disproportionate votes or electoral
Most
votes
of the
to
South.
states that are rural states or rural areas that don't have a
Yeah.
lot of that don't have the most uh, that are not the most heavily
People.
populated, but yet
Hmm.
they're the ones that have a huge impact on how an election swings. How does that make
That's
any
the good
sense?
old
That
daughters of the Confederacy. It was after they lost the Civil War.
yeah,
They got to dictate the terms of their surrender, and the North accepted it. They got to dictate how the stories would be told and
yeah,
how things would be divvied up. It's the only time in history that I can think of where the loser got to tell the story.
right,
Only time in history. Any other time, the conquerors write the story.
right.
That's why we don't know much about the Mayans. That's why we don't know much about many civilizations, and many times because the winners get to tell the story. Daughters of the Confederacy were the ones that got to dictate the terms of the surrender and got to dictate the story. So that's
Yeah,
that's why
it's
you
it's
get
almost
the
like a
South.
politically correct way of stating
It's
things,
literally political correctness.
right?
It's
It's like,
literally
okay, you guys
political.
lost, but
It's
we're
like,
still the same country, so we'll allow you to say this. But when they did that,
yeah,
they allowed them to really just give inaccurate accounts of history.
yeah. Were you about to say the word capitulate? I feel like you're about to say
I
capitulate.
wasn't.
That's they.
I, they
Yeah, they
did.
capitulate.
The South did. Well,
They did though.
the North did capitulate, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
If there's gonna be people listening to this, like, what the fuck does capitulate mean? Look it up, man. We used it correctly. That's all you need to
it
know.
does.
All right, my brother. I'm gonna go make sure there's no fucking minivans riding around my property because I got my gun with me. This has literally been right there this entire time.
Yeah.
Because that shit was weird. And yeah, man, I might tune in and out. I'm gonna look at it like a play by play, dude. Like I'll text you, like, oh, this is the wildest shit. Oh my god, here
Then I have
comes
to tune
here
in to
comes
see what's
Biden.
going on, just
Yeah,
for a
here comes
minute.
Biden. Here comes Biden down the right hash on the pitch, getting ready for the counter.
Oh shit! It's
Dude,
fourth
like
and
literally,
four
like,
with 35 seconds left, down by two.
yeah. What's crazy is that the people who are like, oh, and we'll end it here, right? But like, oh, Biden has dementia and all this shit. If Biden just looks reasonable, right? Like this is how low the bar is. If Biden speaks clearly and looks reasonable, he's gonna win a lot of people over, bro. Because he only has like one other debate after this. Because the vote is literally in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if he just looks reasonable and doesn't and speaks clearly, might speak a little slow because he did have a stammer as a child. That's gonna shit on a lot of people who aren't like just the fans because you're not turning the fans over, right? Like that's not happening.
No, no, you're not.
Um,
You're not. Right? The ride or
yeah,
die
you're not. So
people,
leave
like
those.
Miami Heat fans.
Yeah,
Not someone
yeah.
like you who used to be a Dolphins fan and then all of a sudden you became a Jets fan out of
I gave up
out of
on.
nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I gave up on that team. Like that team hurt me too many times. Like I'm still like my Hurricanes are winning now, but I'm still watching them with like a grain of salt because I was like, you've hurt me too many times. I've seen this. I've seen this story before.
I've seen this play out
I don't want to
before.
call the mist. I've seen this play out before. We got Clemson in 2 weeks, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, man. I think it starts in like 30 minutes, so I might watch it. I might not. I'll tune in and out because I can't.
No,
I
I'm
can't.
gonna work out with Javi and hit the rower after that.
There you go.
I'm on a
All right, my
30
brother.
day
Good talk.
5K rowing machine challenge, so I gotta hit that.
That's what's up, man. Have you gotten a chance to ride bike lately?
Not this weekend because of what happened, but I'm gonna ride. We
Right.
got the first cold front of the year, so
Okay.
my plan is to ride throughout the fall, even when the snow comes, until they close the trails. I definitely want to take it out on the snow, release a little bit of
Right.
air pressure on the fatter tires, and see how it
Hmm.
rides in the snow. In theory, it's supposed to
Okay.
work pretty good, but we'll see how that works out.
We'll see. Let me know when you wipe out and put that up on the Instagram so I can see you fall.
Give me a
All right,
reason
my
to get a
brother.
new bike.
Catch you next time, man.
All right,
Obviously,
man.
we'll talk right after we hit that end record, but
Yeah.
you know what it is. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.